Shanti. Harihi Om. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya aviravirmayedhi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Akhandam Satchidanandam Avang Manasagocharam Atmanam Akhiladharam Ashrayebhishta Siddhai. May we be protected, may we be nourished, may we strive with energy and vigor, may our study be enlightening and not give rise to hostility. Om peace, peace, peace. Lead us to truth and not to untruth. Lead us to enlightenment and not ignorance. Lead us to immortality and not death. Let the self-manifest Atman grow in me. Om peace, peace, peace. I take refuge in the self, the indivisible, the existence, consciousness, bliss, absolute, beyond the reach of words and thought, and the substratum of all, for the attainment of my cherished desire. So we are studying Vedantasara. Now just a little phrase of knowledge. Knowledge generally, people are afraid of knowledge. But knowledge is like this. If I ask you, Elizabeth? Yes, Elizabeth. So it is like this, calling and answering. Immediate. No need of lots of paraphernalia, singing and this and that. So it is direct. Direct. What happens? We understand. We understand many things. We do the same thing in our practice. And not only that, scriptures also say, but somehow we don't get it. So this is our problem. Why we don't get it? Because somehow we miss the meaning. So say like we pray every day, Jyotira Jyoti Ujala Hridi Kanda. You are the light of all lights. And you illumine the heart. So after that then we search, where is that? So we have to find out what is that. Okay, it's like manifestation. What is manifestation? Manifestation is, okay, someone is engineer. Someone is like a erudite scholar. How he has attained that? Someone is artist. How he or she has attained it? It's not somewhere hanging somewhere. Rather it is within. Only some exposure came. Say that, how you have to measure, how you have to design something. That way you learn. It's the same thing. Here the divinity is told that you are the divine. See how empowering it is. You are the divine. Okay, in the beginning it's difficult. Okay. So Bhagavan said, let us take what Sri Krishna said. Bhagavan Sri Krishna. He said, Ishvaraha means God. Sarva Bhutanam, in all beings reside. Sarva Bhutanam with Deshe Arjuna Deshe. Where? He gave the address also. Gave address that he is within our heart. But then we say, oh God, maybe somewhere on the seventh heaven, we search there. But he has indicated, he is here. Suppose you get a address. Where is Vedanta Society? You have that address, 1157 Southeast 55th Avenue. You don't go to other place. You come just here. As simple as that. So Vedanta says, you are that, thou art that. Now the problem is, we have to understand what is written there. Then we have to understand what is 55th, what is 1157. If we understand, then we are there. So it is direct. So this is the praise of knowledge. What happens generally? Now the other day we were reading Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. So a Captain Vishwanath Upadhyay, he came. He was a lawyer or representative of Nepal government that time, at the time of Sri Ramakrishna. So he came and he said, you know that when everything is full, then everything is silent. Then Sri Ramakrishna said, what about Narada, Sukadeva, etc.? Because they spoke about God, and all scriptures are there, teachers, they spoke about it. He said that yes, that is right. Then after that, another that situation came where he said that you know, Sri Ramakrishna said, I go to Keshav and I told Keshav this and that. He said, he's kadachar. I mean, he's corrupt by the Western like people. Why you go to him? Then Sri Ramakrishna scolded him that you yourself say that all the male are um, Rama, all the females are Sita. So you go to governor for money. I go to Keshav Chandra Sen because he sings the glory of God. And you are stopping me. What kind of this double standard? So he got scolding. What's the point? Point here, if we do not know, just notionally we know, then we commit mistake. Therefore, we should know what is what. It is not very difficult. It's easy. Only thing, it's a new subject. So it may give you a notion that, it is difficult. But it is like this, as Swami Vivekananda said, that if a brain is like a mud, like a, a mud, piece of mud, and if you want to insert something, so this is difficult. So you can take a small item, like a small, like pointed one, a pin. Then it's easy. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it will be easier. So in the beginning, our mind is like that. It doesn't want to take anything new. What we have to do, we have to take a little, and then we can understand. If I ask you about engineering, you say, Swami, yeah, this goes beyond my head. But gradually you learn. So it is like that. So Vedanta is a direct. Only thing that you need to give a little time. And it's so easy. Okay. Now, let us come to before that we start, let us go to the complete work of Swami Vivekananda. That's another dose. David?
Yes, Swami. I'm reading from Maya and Illusion. Thus, the Vedanta philosophy is neither optimistic nor pessimistic. It voices both these views and takes things as they are. It admits that this world is a mixture of good and evil, happiness and misery, and that to increase the one must of necessity increase the other. There will never be a perfectly good or bad world, because the very idea is a contradiction in terms. The great secret revealed by this analysis.
What is being said? Like everything is good, bad, say loss and gain, all these in duals. Why? The system is like that. Nothing is 100%. Why? The system is made in that way. So, uh, yes, go ahead.
The great secret revealed by this analysis is that good and bad are not two cut and dried separate existences. There is not one thing in this world of ours which you can label as good and good alone. And there's not one thing in the universe which you can label as bad and bad alone. The very same phenomenon which is appearing to be good now may appear to be bad tomorrow. The same thing which is producing misery in one may produce happiness in another. The fire that burns the child may cook a good meal for a starving man. The same nerves that carry the sensations of misery carry also the sensations of happiness. The only way to stop evil, therefore, is to stop good also. There is no other way. To stop death, we shall have to stop life also. Life without death and happiness without misery are contradictions, and neither can be found alone, because each of them is but a different manifestation of the same thing. What I thought to be good yesterday, I do not think to be good now. When I look back upon my life and see what were my ideals at different times, I find this to be so. At one time, my ideal was to drive a strong pair of horses. And at another time, I thought if I could make a certain kind of sweetmeat, I should be perfectly happy. Later, I imagined that I should be entirely satisfied if I had a wife and children and plenty of money. Today, I laugh at all these ideals as mere childish nonsense.
So it is, say, like someone has got uh, a motorbike but no car. So he will think about, if I get motorbike, a car, it will be good. So we see a gradation. So what is the point? Point is, like in this world, whatever is there, it will give you either in one point of time it will give joy, and maybe another time it may make you miserable. So what we understand, that this world has some misery. What we want to cling to is life. But life itself is fraught with so many things, so many, say, like a misery. Therefore, what is being indicated here is not only life, beyond life, that is immortality. Because if you say life, then there is death. One cannot stay in this world for eternity. One has to go from this. So death is a must. So then what is the solution? Solution is to attain immortality. Asato ma sadgamaya. To attain the whatever is real, whatever is enlightening, whatever is immortal, that we have to reach. And it is with us. It's not that it is beyond us. It is within us. Only we need to find out. Say, an ignorant person or an illiterate person, if he gets education, he becomes educated and he can do a lots of things. Then an illiterate person, same hands, cannot do many things. But suppose computer. If you know computer, then you can do so many things. You can design, you can say draft a letter, and so many things. So what is the point? Point is, we have to go beyond this life and death. That is immortality. So we have to attain that. Yes.
The Vedanta says there must come a time when we shall look back and laugh at the ideals which make us afraid of giving up our individuality. Each one of us wants to keep this body for an indefinite time, thinking we shall be very happy. But there will come a time when we shall laugh at this idea. Now, if such be the truth, we are in a state of hopeless contradiction. Neither existence nor non-existence, neither misery nor happiness, but a mixture of them. What then is the use of Vedanta and all the other philosophies and religions? And above all, what is the use of doing good work? There is a question that comes to mind. If it is true that you cannot do good without doing evil, and whenever you try to create happiness, there will always be misery, people will ask you, what is the use of doing good? The answer is, in the first place, that we must work for lessening misery, for that is the only way to make ourselves happy. Every one of us finds it out sooner or later in our lives. The bright ones find it out a little earlier, and the dull ones a little later. The dull ones pay very dearly for the discovery, and the bright ones less dearly. In the second place, we must do our part, because that is the only way of getting out of this life of contradiction. Both the forces of good and evil will keep the universe alive for us until we awake from our dreams and give up this building of mud pies. That lesson we shall have to learn, and it will take a long, long time to learn it. Attempts have been made in Germany to build a system of philosophy on the basis that the infinite has become the finite. Such attempts are also made in England. And the analysis of the position of these philosophers is this: that the infinite is trying to express itself in this universe, and that there will come a time when the infinite will succeed in doing so. It is all very well, and we have used the words infinite and manifestation and expression and so on. But philosophers naturally ask for a logical, fundamental basis for the statement that the finite can fully express the infinite. The absolute and the infinite can become this universe only by limitation. Everything must be limited that comes through the senses, or through the mind, or through the intellect. And for the limited to be the unlimited is simply absurd and can never be. The Vedanta, on the other hand, says that it is true that the absolute, or the infinite, is trying to express itself in the finite. But there will come a time when it will find that it is impossible, and it will then have to beat a retreat. And this beating a retreat means renunciation, which is the real beginning of religion.
Yeah. So what Vedanta says, like tyage naikam amritattva manasu. By renouncing the desire for this world, for enjoyment, that will make us look within. Avritta chakshu amritattvam icchan. Then only one will try to attain what is immortality. Now here it does not mean that one should shut down all the senses. What is being said? That we have to find out what is within us. What is that entity based on which the whole existence exists? So this is, it's a like E is equal to mc square. So one equation was given by Einstein, and that is revolutionary. Similarly, Vedanta gave such equations. One of them is Tat Tvam Asi. Thou, you art that. It is not two different entities. It is the same entity. How to say that? How we understand it's the same? This is a little, please give me a little space so that we can talk about it. Now, before that, we have already discussed that when we talk, our words have power. It conveys some meaning. If I tell, please give me a glass of water, immediately, yes, Swami, I'll bring you a glass of water. So words have power. So it is not futile. Now it has meaning, different time and different circumstances, it has various meaning. So one is called Shabdarth, means word meaning. What is the meaning of water? What is the meaning of bring? And we join it and understand, what is being said, and we act on it. So it is called Vakyartha. Vachyartha also, whatever is being said, whatever literally is being said. But suppose a boy says, no, no, I have not eaten that. But you know that he has eaten. How you know? You know because nobody else would have done it, but this child has done. But he is saying, no, 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 I have not eaten. So this is called, we many times we get implication. Say like if we see uh, smoke on a hill, so we know that there is fire. Because wherever there is fire, smoke comes. So this is called implied meaning. And the fourth is all are jokes, like jokes, or sometimes we have riddles. Though in the riddle there are many words, but you have to find out what is being said. Like, tell me something which is not a tiger, not an animal, but devours the whole person, man. So it is difficult to find. But our charts are like that. So riddles or jokes that gives a fourth kind of understanding, which is not in the words, but it indicates something. Now, so these are relations. So what are the relations? One is called um, depending on locus. Like you, me are on the same plane. Say a person is traveling by airplane. They're on the same plane. And that's one. Second is with quality. So quality and qualifying, one thing. So relationship due to qualifier to adjective, like say like a red lotus or red rose. So rose is qualified by redness. Why we are discussing this? It is to eliminate first, not this, not this way, not this way. But we have to understand correct meaning of this word, thou art that. Now, third is relationship due to implier and implied. So, like example is given. Oh, he's the same Tom I have seen 20 years back. So what happens? One is like 20 years he has got some qualities. Like now he's a wise, like a professor. That time he was a student. And now he has mustache and beard. That time he was a child. It is no. How we equate? So if you say that is because of the appearance, no. Because of its qualities or qualifications or qualifiers, that is also not the case. So we have to find out what is that. See, what is that by which we equate the child Tom and the present Tom. It's, see, that time, so it is differentiating, and this time, and that time he was this with this quality, and now this he has this quality. So we have named it Lakshya Lakshana Bhava. That means implied and implier. One is depending on locus, same locus. Second is depending on adjectives. Examples will be given. And third is the relationship between implier and implied. So, what happens? Say, like if I say red rose, and this is also red. So, red and rose. Redness, except redness, all other colors are denied. Right? And rose means no other flower but rose. This is important. Okay. So this is mutually excludes all other qualities and also all other implied meaning. So that term and this term we cannot equate because of difference of time and appearance and qualifications, etc. So, what is that relationship that we have to find out? So, we go to the yes 150. No, that 150 I have done. We have done that. 154. Hmm. Yes. So yameva bhag lakshmi utichyate. Now bhag lakshana, that means this is the called bhag lakshana name. So lakshana means indicative or implied lakshana. Now here we have to understand. Asmin vakye, that means the literal meaning in the manner of the sentence, the blue lotus does not fit in with the sentence thou art that. Why? Because it is qualifying something. It's not unifying. Say this is not complete. So this is not valid. Now, in the phrase the blue lotus, the meaning of the word blue is the blue color, and the meaning of the word lotus is the flower called lotus. They respectively exclude other colors. So this I informed you, such as white, etc. White, blue, white, yellow, red, etc. And other objects such as cloth, or say like all kinds of things, except only one thing, that is lotus. Thus, these two words mutually stand in the relation of qualifier and qualified. One was qualifying. So this relationship is not like that. This is in short. Now, but in this sentence, thou art that, the meaning of the word that, that is consciousness associated with the remoteness, etc. And the meaning of the word thou is the consciousness associated with immediacy, etc. If it is maintained that these two ideas, that means remoteness and immediacy, two ideas, since they eliminate their mutual distinction, stand to each other in the relation of qualifier and qualified, meaning their mutual qualification or their unity. It involves a contradiction with direct perception and other means of knowledge. So we cannot equate with the qualities and the person, qualities and the person, present and that time. So this way we cannot understand the meaning. Then what are the other way? Now here it is 158. Therefore, it has been said in this sentence, thou art that. The correct meaning is neither the union of the two ideas, like with the qualities, or indicative of that qualities. Say when I say that Tom, here Devadatta, that Devadatta, if I take his body, his mental conditions, his education, with this person's body and mental conditions and qualifications, then we cannot equate. What we have to do, we have to remove something, what is not fitting. Though we understand intuitively it is the same person. So, when I say, or God is like, it is said, thou art that, what happens? We have limited understanding. And God is all pervading. We are limited. We say only we can abide here only. We are all not all pervading, but say a chair is enough. How can it be equated? If you take the qualities of those, then it cannot be equated. And if you take implied meaning of these two, then also it cannot be equated. So this is the simple meaning. Therefore, it has been said in this sentence, thou art that, the correct meaning is neither the union of two ideas nor their mutual qualification. The real meaning of the sentence, according to scholars, is an absolute homogeneous principle. God and the person are absolutely homogeneous. And not that he has many, you, me, and God are all one. This is indicating indication of that thou art that. But if we take qualities of both or implied meanings of both, then it does not fit. Then how we have to understand? Now comes. Now say somebody, you know that what is that river? So you can say from distance, that tree. Can you see tree? Yes, just below that. Similarly, there is a Gangayam Ghosha. That means again in the sentence, thou art that. So Jhal Lakshana, name. Lakshana here implied meaning, but taking something additional. So if we, what is that that airport? You see, on you can say Colombia, on Colombia. So here, the word meaning in Sanskrit, it's like Gangayam Ghosha, that village which is on Columbia, on Ganga. But no village can exist on the river. So what we have to mean that on the bank of Columbia or Ganga. So what we do, we add something. So it's called Jahal Lakshana. Okay. Again in the sentence, thou art that, Jahal Lakshana is not also admissible, as in the sentence, the cowherd village is on, literally, in the Ganga. Literally means, literally, Gangayam Ghosha, in Ganga, in Colombia. How can in Colombia a village can stand? Literally, what we imply, that not in the Ganga, but on the Ganga. Okay. So this is called Jahal Lakshana. Atra tu Ganga Ghosha. Now, in that sentence, as it is altogether absurd to construe the words Ganges and cowherd village literally in the sense of container and contained, respectively. And Ganga, that means Columbia, is container, and the village is contained. So this relationship does not fit here. So Ganges and cowherd village literally in the sense of container and contained, respectively, that meaning of the sentence must be entirely abandoned, and it should refer by implication to the bank of the Ganga. Hence, in this case, the application of Jhal Lakshana is admissible. So where? So Jhal Lakshana means with abandoning one thing, taking another meaning. So, now in that sentence, thou art that. But this sentence, thou art that, meaning the identity of consciousness, consciousness characterized by immediacy. So here Devadatta, that means Tom, that Tom and this Tom. So in this sentence, thou art that, meaning the identity of consciousness, that means the person, Consciousness characterized by immediacy, I mean now and then. Other also are there. He was lean and thin, now he's stout and say like hefty. So all these various characters. Remoteness involves contradiction in one part only. Therefore, it is not proper to abandon the other part. So here it is, the consciousness is common. We cannot abandon the whole thing. One part is not matching, that means time, then and now. But Devdatta is the same. So we cannot use this way. That means Jahal Lakshana. Okay. So, therefore, it is not proper to abandon the other part as well and indicate something else by implication, Lakshana. Hence, in this case, Jhal Lakshana is not admissible. So, Jhal Lakshana, this was also way we cannot understand. Now, at least this way you can think about it. Now, nor can it be urged. Just as the word Ganga in the sentence in question gives up its direct meaning and implies the bank, so may the words that and thou in the sentence thou art that give up their direct meaning and mean by implication the contents of thou and that respectively. So why should it not be a case of Jhal Lakshana? So now we are trying to figure out Tat Tvamasi, thou art that, you are that supreme being. So what we generally we think, we are body, we are mind. How can I be God? Therefore, we have to try to understand what is the implied meaning, but not taking one part, taking the another part. Now, this is, in details, that's why the gist is that one. In that sentence, the word bank is not mentioned, and therefore, the meaning which is not implicit can only be derived through implication. But here, we cannot, it is direct here. It's same Devdatta, same term. So there, the scope is not there. That's why it is being said. So in the sentence, the word bank is not mentioned, and therefore the meaning which is not implicit can only be derived through implication, Lakshana. But in the other sentence, thou art that, the words that and thou are mentioned and their meaning are explicit. So here meaning is, it is the same term, whom I saw 20 years back. So here it is implicit. In the case of cowherd village, in the Ganga, it is not implicit. We have to take implied meaning. Now, but in the other sentence, thou art that, the words that and thou are mentioned and their meanings are explicit. Therefore, it is not proper to use Lakshana here in order to indicate through either of them the sense of the other. So we cannot take that one. This is the simplest negation to understand what is being said when I say Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, or you are Brahman, you are that. So now another kind of, here one part is removed. Now, atra shona dhavati, nor is ajahal lakshana. Ajahal lakshana applicable in this sentence as in the sentence the red color is running. Many times we say something like, oh, red is running. But red cannot run. What is being said? We import another word, red horse is running. or red car is running. So many times we have no time, so we say red is running, like that. So this also will not imply here. Now I'll just translation. The literal meaning of the sentence, namely the running of a red color, is absurd. This absurdity can be removed without abandoning the meaning of the red. So it is not like previous one. There we were removing that in Ganga, we are implied, we are bringing something. But here no need of removing. Rather, we understand, we add something here. So literal meaning of the sentence, namely the running of red color, is absurd. This absurdity can be removed without abandoning the meaning of the word red by interpreting it to imply a of that color, horse of that color. Therefore, in this case, Ajahal Lakshana is admissible. So in that case, when I say red is running, so we bring another word, red horse. So there, in this case it is admissible. Atra tu, now, but here in the sentence, thou art that, the literal meaning conveying an identical consciousness. Tom is the same, consciousness is the same, associated with remoteness and immediacy, etc., is self-contradictory. So in this case, we cannot take that meaning, that way of like to understand the implied meaning. We cannot take this Ajahal Lakshana also. Then what we can take? That will come after this. But here in the sentence, thou art that, the literal meaning conveying an identical consciousness associated with remoteness, immediacy, etc., is self-contradictory if without abandoning this meaning, any other idea connected with the implied, still the contradiction will not be reconciled. Therefore, in this case, Ajahal Lakshana is inadmissible. So when I say red is running, red horse is admissible. But tat tvam asi, in this thou art that, this is not admissible. Why? Because here consciousness is common. There the implied horse can be added there, but here we are finding it is the same person, but because of remoteness and immediacy, this is not like that. So this is, let us. Now, nor can it be urged either of the words that or thou may exclude that portion. So there what we are doing, we cannot exclude also. That and this we have to either of the words that or thou may exclude that portion of its meaning which conflicts with the other word and imply a combination of the other portion. We cannot mix also with the meaning of the other word, thou or that. So therefore, no necessity arises of admitting Bhagalakshana. So it's the name, Bhagalakshana. So ekena padena swarthansha. Okay. Because it is impossible to conceive the same word as indicating a part of its own meaning as well as the meaning of another word. So this and that, this and that, if we take literally, then it is not commensurating. Because it is impossible to conceive the same word as indicating a part of its own meaning as well as the meaning of another word. So this and that is not compatible here. Moreover, when the meaning is directly expressed by the other word, it does not require the application of lakshana to the first word to indicate it. Okay. Therefore, as the sentence this is that Devadatta or its meaning on account of the contradictions involved in one part of their import, like one part is different. That means that time a child and this time a mature elderly person. So this, the contradiction we cannot keep to unify both the both the idea of consciousness. So mentally we do it. It's not that we don't do. We meet after 20 years and say, oh, you are the same Tom. So we do. Mentally we deduct. We don't understand. So this now logically we are understanding. Therefore, as a sentence, this is that Tom or Devdatta or its meaning on account of the contradictions involved in one part of their import. So Devdatta as existing in the past or Tom existing in the past and exists in the present implies by abandoning the conflicting portion which has reference to time. Only the non-conflicting portion, that means the man Devdatta, similarly, the sentence thou art that or its meaning on account of the contradictions involved in one part of their import, consciousness. So consciousness is common in both. Consciousness is common, but other part is not common. Rather, it is distancing or segregating. Consciousness characterized by remoteness and immediacy implies by abandoning the conflicting portion which has relation to remoteness and immediacy, etc., only as absolute pure consciousness which is common to both thou art that. So what is being said? We are to find what is that we convey when I say, oh, you are the same Tom. I am seeing you after 20 years or maybe 5 years, 15 years. What we mentally deduct, that remoteness or childishness with present, now he is a professor, so not a child, and so many other qualities. So we mentally deduct and we find the same consciousness. So by this word, thou art that, we are to find that within this, whosoever lives, it's like that in the Upanishad it is said, Sadeva Somya Idamagra Asit. So from Sat, everything has come to existence. But some say Asadeva Idamagra Asit, and from that Sat has come. But what happens? If I ask you, do you exist? You say, Swami, yes, I exist. Nobody can say that I don't exist. Even the person who says that I have doubt that I exist. So doubter is there. The doubter, the person who is doubting on his own existence, cannot doubt his own existence. Then there is no question. So asanneva sabhavati. If somebody says that, oh, there is nothing, no God, what he is doing, he becomes nothing. Asanneva sabhavati. So you see, that is why it is in the Upanishad it is said that asad brahmeti veda chet asanneva sabhavati. If somebody says, no, 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 there is nothing, no God, then he loses his existence also. Asad brahmeti veda chet, asanneva sabhavati. Asti brahmeti veda chet, santamenam tatu vidaviti. If one says, yes, I exist, that means he is there. He does not vanish. So this existence we realize, we experience. The experience is all. That's our real nature. Experience means something we experience, but sometimes we don't experience also. This existence is all the time present. Even when we are in deep sleep, we may not be aware of our own existence, but still we exist. Why? The next day we say, oh, I slept so very well that I did not know anything. Sukham aham swapsam nakinchit avedesham. I slept so very well that I did not know anything. How you know? Memory. Memory of something, that means we experience that. So this existence cannot be denied. And in that word, thou art that, we are trying to find out that consciousness. So this other means will not work. We are to remove remoteness and immediacy, but you have to hold consciousness in that time or this time. So we have to remove part of it and hold part of it. So this is, now let me read this. Yeah. Therefore, as the sentence, this is that Devadatta, or its meaning, on account of the contradictions involved in one part of their import, that means Devadatta that time, Devadatta this time, Tom that time, Tom this time. One part we cannot take, and we don't take also. What we take, that consciousness, that, Jyotira Jyoti Ujjala Hridi Kandara. Who is illuminator, even the lights. He is the light of lights, and he is illuminating our heart also. Ujjala Hridi Kandara. Tumi Tama Bhanjanaha. You are the remover of darkness. That consciousness is the same. So he is illuminating this, and he is illuminating the whole world. It's not that many people are there, many consciousnesses are there. I am conscious, you are conscious. No. In all systems, even matter is one. The whole universe. If you see matter, if you see, say, mental conditions, so this is universal mind. Therefore, consciousness cannot be many. Consciousness is one. That asadeva somya idamagra asit ekam eva advitiyam. Ekam eva advitiyam. It is non-dual, unified whole. So this we have to find out. That is why we need to contemplate. Now what we do? We do japam, and Gurus have said that you are to meditate as your Ishta, as you are facing, he is also facing. So he is within. It is like this. Torch. If you take a torch, you can illumine, say this room is dark. So you can see something. So many other things. How you see torch itself. How you see torch itself. Light of torch can illumine others. So what we have to see, this is the intuitive knowledge that you have to apply. Intuitive knowledge. By that you will understand, oh my God, I am there all the time. I am that consciousness by which the whole world is conscious. There are not many. Neha nanasti kinchana. Ekam eva advitiyam. It is one, unified one. And what kind of one? There is no two. So this, it is beyond existence and non-existence. So some say it exists, some says it does not exist. There you cannot say anything. In your deep sleep you cannot say, you cannot express yourself. When Sri Ramakrishna is in Samadhi, he is unable to talk. And when he came down, and when he would utter Om, that time he said, I have descended about 100 cubits. 100 cubits. And then he wanted to express, okay, what kind of experience that I get. And then he could not tell that. But how simply he expressed. He said, I want to tell, but mother is pressing my throat or tongue. Because you cannot express. Expression is where there is duality. When we have multiplicity, duality, that time we can talk. Then word has meaning. Now you have to understand through this what is being said. So this cannot be attained by shabdartha, word meaning. It cannot be attained through the meaning of the sentence or the knowledge that we gain through the sentence. It cannot be attained or gained through implied meaning. But what we have to take, we have to take that intuitive, that which comes, by nature. So for this we need to do sadhana. For this we need to contemplate what is being said. And that's the negation part, but affirmation also. Then we see the whole world is one, not many. Even a speck of dust is the same consciousness which is manifesting like that. And it's the highest God, is the same entity, is not many. So this is the way to attain this. It is as simple as calling a person Elizabeth, and immediately Elizabeth responds, yes, yes, Swami. Same thing. When Guru says, thou art that, immediately that meaning should come. Oh, I am that consciousness. I am the consciousness. I am the only consciousness on which the whole world is revolving. See, otherwise also you can see. When you are awake, the whole thing is awake. When you are sleeping, you may imagine that, oh, other people are awake. No. That's your imagination. That is why even quantum theories, etc., cannot get it what Vedanta has already discovered. It is you and you alone. Tat Tvamasi. And then comes Aham Brahmasmi. I am that Brahman. So again, then Aham, and Brahman is all one. So how that arrives will take later. So I think it is time. Any question?
Yeah,
Okay.
like how can we think that I am Brahman while doing work?
Okay. The thing is, say like We learn many things like first theoretically. So this is it will come. It is called Shravana. First you have to hear. And then comes Manana. Means you have to cogitate, you have to understand, try to contemplate. And in course of time, this meaning will dawn onto you. Now, you asked while working, you have sense of separation, good, bad, and indifferent. Similarly, gain, loss, and in between. So all these differences, then only work happens. But you can imagine, as of now, because you have heard this, that everything is Brahman, everything is God. So if you are interacting with someone, say I am talking to you, I have to think that I am talking to myself or I am talking to God. So Ishvara, Guru, Atmaiti, Tattva Veda. So Ishvara, Guru, and Atma, these are not different. They are only words. So this is unifying. Okay, the thing is, one has to hear this first. Then one has to cogitate. And in course of time, this is like assimilated. It is digested and assimilated. As of now, while working, you have to think that I am working with something that is also Brahman. Brahmarpanam, Brahma Havihi, Brahmagno, Brahmana Hutam, Brahmaiva Tena, Gantavyam, Brahma Karma, Samadhina. So everything is Brahman. How? Brahmarpanam, the ladle is Brahman. The offering that I am offering is also Brahman. And I am offering in the fire, that is also Brahman. And I am, this work also is Brahman. Brahma Karma Samadhina. So Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi, Brahmagno, Brahmanahutam. And the person who is offering is also Brahman. Brahmaiva tena gandha. It will go to Brahman. If you have to think that it comes, then you have to think that it goes to Brahman. And Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi, Brahmagno, Brahmanahutam. Brahmaiva tena gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. And I am also Brahma Karma. The karma is also Brahman. Karma Brahmodbhavam Vidhi. So that is also Brahman. So actually it is all Brahman. But in the beginning, not to go too far, rather you have to listen this very many times, contemplate, try to understand the veracity of it. In course of time, it will happen. Because that is your real nature. Like we say Akshay. Akshay means who never gets destroyed. So that's your name. But what is indicated by that? You are imperishable. You are that. Body perishes. Mind perishes. Even the intellect also keeps on changing. Everything changes. But the inner being never changes. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, na chainam kledayantapu, na shrosheti maruta, achchedvayam adajyayam akliddu ashashevacha. It cannot be burnt, it cannot be soaked, it cannot be dried. Because nitya sarvagata sthanu achalo ayam sanatana. It is nitya, eternal. Sarvagata, all pervading. But what happens? We take this body. That's why we only confined in one chair. No, we are to transcend this idea. So that requires toiling. It's not that easy, but science is easy. Science means this science. To understand this is easy, but gradually one has to work on it. And one has to work on moral and ethical way. Then only the heart is purified. Then only one can understand the meaning and indicative meaning of this. And then one day it comes like in a flash, Sakrut Vibhati. It comes in a flash, Sakrut Vibhati. Then everything is merged like Sri Ramakrishna or Buddha or Christ. It is not that it's all figment of imagination. Buddha enlightened, then he's totally different, transformed person. So we are traveling on that path, and that is why we need to hear it again and again in time. And then we have to understand the meaning. And then one day it is revealed. So as of now, while working, you have to think, I am interacting with God, and the means also is God, and by which the work is being done or whatever. So that's why say devotees approach same. Yat karoshi, whatever you do, yadashnashi, whatever you sacrifice, yad nihoshi yadashnashi, yeah, whatever you eat, yad juhoshi, whatever you sacrifice, dadasi, whatever you donate, everything you do, but do it to offering my by offering to me. So this is the same thing. We try to find differences. But Sri Ramakrishna said, Shuddha Bhakti, Shuddha Gyan are one and the same. The pure devotion and pure knowledge is one and the same. Why? Because it unifies. Whatever divides, that is not divine. I mean, that's our imagination. That also we say, what we say? Vivarta. Vivarta means appearance. As of now, it is appearing in so many forms, but it's the same entity, same consciousness. Consciousness is one and the same. But appearance may be different. Like water is the same, but waves may be different. Maybe some bubbles are different. The gold is one, but ornaments may look different. Money is the one, but it may sometimes dollar, sometimes peso, sometimes rupees. The value of that is the same. So this is unifying. So apparently it looks like very difficult. But it's not as simple as that. What you have to do? Tat Tvam Asi. Tat, that means remoteness, remove. Tvam, you, now immediacy to be removed. What is the unifying thing? Is consciousness. So God, not there. God is here. So thatness should be removed, and thisness is to be removed. And we have to find the unity. Thank you very much.
Thank
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Everything is offered to Sri Ramakrishna.
Pranam.
Namaste, Namaste, Jai Ma.
Pranam Maharaj.
Namaskar. Namaskar. Jai Ma, Jai
Thank
Ma.
you, Swami. Chema.
Jai Ma, Namaskar.
Namaste.
Namaste, Namaste. Namaste. Namaste to all.